but more and more the wind picked up, and I took some video. Yeah, I think I posted it on our Instagram social media as well, where I was smiling and saying, this is a winter in Tromsø, and the weather at that time was quite good compared to what it was going to be. So, and eventually I had, the wind picked up, and snow is one thing because it doesn't hurt your face, but this was ice, water, snow, so it hurt your face that much. You had to cover up your whole face, and covering up your glasses, when it hits your glass, it gets stuck to your glasses, so you can't see anything. And just that feeling. I had the GPS watch, so I was really happy for that. So I had the direction of the cabin, but for like 3 hours you could see 2 meters in front of you. All the time that you have this big canyon to the right with avalanche risk that you don't want to fall into, and it's somewhere there to the right. You always know it's there.
So you had to depend in this instance on your watch, on the GPS watch. That's a analogy, right?
Yeah.
Because the watch is not affected by the weather. So continue with what I'm saying. You can explain it.
Well, I guess the analogy being that you got to have that inner compass, that inner direction that doesn't change with the weather, like you're saying, that doesn't, the circumstances it's not touched by the circumstances. So you have the clear direction where you go, and trusting that, and knowing that works, and knowing that it's going to lead you to the cabin. You got to have some faith there. But if you have that, then you withstand the storm, you withstand the difficult things, because you just keep going towards direction, and that gives you hope, and that gives you it's okay to be there. Like you can deal with it in some way. Like it's terrible, it's hard, it's tough, you feel you're so small, but you have that direction, and you trust it. Hey everyone, welcome to the Breaking Trail podcast. This is Ruben, and it's maybe been a while last. We released the podcast a couple of weeks ago, but if you haven't seen the news on social media, we're gonna start publishing one episode every second week, and kind of instead for you guys start putting out more short clips, more activity on social media. You'll see more quotes. There's gonna be shorter episodes as well, so we're gonna keep publishing those little bit longer ones. So yeah, that's what you have to expect. And this episode is a bit of a different one, where I'm telling the story of my last week's winter hike, and middle of May in Tromsø. Very, very special. A lot of wind, a lot of analogies, feeling so small in nature that's so big, and just that feeling of trusting the inner compass, in my case my GPS watch. And this is episode number 46, which I haven't figured out the name of yet, but that will be obvious soon. Okay. Yeah, so the mountains. No, I just we just left, was it Thursday? Yeah, late night. we were chilling out and at home and packing, and we thought, it's not that far to walk, and so we arrived at the parking place. We thought we were gonna drive further than we did, but we realized there was a summer road, the last part, and there was 2 meters of snow on the summer road. It's still very, very snowy up in the mountains, full winter. So we eventually had like 14 kilometers to hike, and we started at 8:30 in the night.
Whoa.
So that's poor.
Not my style, but anyway.
No, poor idea. So we ended up.
And you should explain to people, when you say hike, it's not on foot, it's on skis.
Yeah.
Most people don't relate hiking to ski.
Oh, I see. Backcountry skiing, I guess.
You just went on a ski tour.
Ski tour with backcountry skiing, which is kind of like Nordic ski. Well, they have in Scandinavia this special thing. You have like the Nordic skis are really thin, so everyone probably knows that. That's what you see in the Olympics and whatever the sports. But those skis are a little bit thicker, and the binding is stronger. And then you have a different shoe as well. And then under you can either use wax or you use skinless, like you use some kind of wax base or some fish skin
Scales.
fish scales. Yeah, fish scales underneath. So
They call it crown skis.
Crown skis. So that's what I have, and a lot of snow up there, so we had to use those, and yeah, so we went to bed at 2 in the night. Very, very beautiful evening though, walking up this valley and up to the cabin and up to right at the edge of the trees. The cabin is located right where the big mountains where the trees ends, and the kind of the, what is it called, the
above tree line.
Yeah, above tree line region. Above tree line. And anyway, so the next morning, like the picture I sent to you, it was very warm and nice. We were going maybe 20 kilometers to another cabin, and it was that warm that I almost had to take off my pants, just walking almost in underwear finally. And as we were walking up to my left, there was a big crevasse or big deep valley, you could say, like I don't know what you call those, like is it crevasse, like a long canyon, we could call it.
Oh, canyon, yeah, crevasse is a crack in the snow, in the ice.
Yeah,
like
okay.
a glacier that.
Yeah. No, not like that.
Yeah.
More like a canyon, but a deep canyon, so that I saw that you wouldn't want to walk there because of risk of avalanche. You wouldn't want to get close to that thing, and we had it for a long time, like 2 hours on our left hand, and as we were walking up, and it got so warm, and I said to myself, maybe it would be nice with a little bit of wind in the sun. And the wind started blowing, and more started blowing, and we at least we came to the cabin in the end. It was okay. We had the wind from our side. And the next morning, we got a weather report through I have this kind of an emergency beacon that I can send text messages with, and I can also get weather reports just as a safety measure, because I felt that the wind was increasing, and so I was wondering, how bad is it going to get? And it said it wasn't going to be that bad, but it was going to turn. The wind was going to turn, so we're going to have wind straight against us as we were walking back. So anyway, so we went back. We started walking. It was okay. But more and more the wind picked up, and I took some video. Yeah, I think I posted it on our Instagram social media as well, where I was smiling and saying, this is a winter in Tromsø. And the weather at that time was quite good compared to what it was going to be. So, and eventually I had, the wind picked up, and snow is one thing because it doesn't hurt your face. But this was ice, water, snow, so it hurt your face that much. You had to cover up your whole face, and covering up your glasses, when it hits your glass, it gets stuck to your glasses, so you can't see anything. And just that feeling. I had the GPS watch, so I was really happy for that. So I had the direction of the cabin, but for like 3 hours you could see 2 meters in front of you. All the time that you have this big canyon to the right with avalanche risk that you don't want to fall into, and it's somewhere there to the right. You always know it's there. So you're kind of like, where is that? And it's white everywhere. That feeling is, I don't know, maybe a few people have experienced that. There's no, like, every now and then there was a little bit of rock, and you just were so happy because you could see something, like, except from this white thing, but you just walked there for 2 hours. And yeah.
And you also get vertigo in there, like you don't know what's up, what's down.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sideways. And you just get totally disoriented.
Totally. And that's why, like, I didn't know whether we were going down to the Tordy Canyon. Like, eventually I had to walk with my sticks in front of me to feel whether I'm going up or down.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Whoa.
It's not pleasant.
No, not at all.
Some people say it's like skiing in a marshmallow.
Yeah. Very, yes.
Or an ocean of milk.
Yeah. Or milk ice slush. But anyway, just...
Was it hailing or sleeting? Was it balls or was it just sleet? Like just...
No, sleet.
Driving ice.
Yeah, driving, sleed. Oh, I never heard that word. Yeah, that's what it was more. Yeah, and then at one point it got so strong wind that you could barely move forward. So you just had to take one little step. And there's many analogies you could take. Just the focus on the one little step. But the thing I was struck with most was just this feeling of how small you are when you're out there, and it also kind of reminds me about an analogy of life. Like, that death is there somewhere at the end of the line. Like, I knew that the canyon was there, and I was kind of always aware of that, but I had it in the back of my head, and I had this fear in the back of my mind that somewhere there is a canyon, and I don't want to fall into there, and you just feel so small. Like, you're not in control of your own. You're like, I was completely dependent on my GPS, basically. Like, if I didn't have that, and even with a map and compass, what could I do? Like, I could take a compass direction before the storm, but walking for 3 hours, I would have probably went kind of away from the course that I was heading. So, so you just, like, without,
And a map is useless because you got no landmarks. You can't see anything.
And you wouldn't be able to pick up your map because of blowing that much.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Well, it was exciting, but you could have done with a little less excitement.
That's exactly what I was saying to you before. Like, yes, it was exciting. It was a lesson, but I could have done with a little bit less. I learned my lesson, and
yeah. And what's unfortunate, you mentioned, is that the forecast was inaccurate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one of the rules, isn't it? Always check the forecast. But if the forecast is inaccurate, that's an even bigger negative.
You never.
Because you depend on that.
Yeah. But like we always say, to depend on that fully, and to think that that's, that you can fully depend on that. It's not smart. You have to prepare for the worst. You have to prepare with for anything to come.
Yeah.
So I guess it's exactly the same in life. Like you don't know what's coming, and you can't, unexpected things happen all the time. And
I was just recently, I don't know how to say it, but anyway, this person was telling me about tarot cards, and they're really into tarot cards, and there's all these things, the fortune teller, the palm reader, so they're what they're doing is basically giving you a life forecast.
Yeah.
Okay, the I Ching, when you throw the I Ching, it says this, or the tarot cards say that, or numerology predicts this, or the
astrology,
your palm tells me this, or astrology, or whatever, and so you're just kind of influenced by that forecast. Life forecast. But it's wrong, You can't depend on it. So you've got to have something that's always there that you can depend on.
Yeah.
Just like you couldn't depend on the forecast. No. So you had to depend, in this instance, on your watch, your GPS watch. That's a analogy, right?
Yeah.
Because the watch is not affected by the weather. So continue with what I'm saying. You can explain it.
Well, I guess the analogy being that you got to have that inner compass, that inner direction that doesn't change with the weather, like you're saying, that doesn't, the circumstances it's not touched by the circumstances. So you have the clear direction where you go, and trusting that, and knowing that works, and knowing that it's going to lead you to the cabin. You got to have some faith there. But if you have that, then you withstand the storm, you withstand the difficult things, because you just keep going towards direction, and that gives you hope, and that gives you it's okay to be there. Like you can deal with it in some way. Like, it's terrible, it's hard, it's tough. You feel you're so small, but you have that direction, and you trust it.
Yeah. I just heard a lecture from our spiritual master this morning about, the protection of all protections is the Supreme Lord, right? I mean, that's the ultimate protection. But you got to use your intelligence. I mean, there's stories in our Vedic history of how the Lord, protected his followers or his people in this way or another way, but the message was we also have to use our intelligence. The Lord's protection is there, but we can't just do anything and be stupid and think, oh, but the Lord will protect me kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you had to use your intelligence. Okay, I need to set this coordinate on the watch. Not just head out and a storm comes in and just go, oh, but don't worry, the Lord will protect me. He won't let me fall off into this canyon or gorge. I think the best word is a gorge.
A gorge. Oh.
Yeah. But we have intelligence we've been given by the Lord. And if we use that, guided by all the knowledge we have received from our master and from the scriptures, then we can make intelligent decisions, just like you've got a lot of mountain experience. So building on that experience, the unexpected happened, but because you had some background and could use that intelligently, everything was okay.
Yeah.
So life that was just one short day. Although it probably seemed pretty long.
Yeah, like I said, 3 hours in this white out just.
You think you'll never get there, I know it's in the video you showed. Well, these are the toilets, because those Norwegian cabins, right? You have a cabin, and then separate you have a small building, which is the toilet. And you were going in the video, because Ruben sent me a video of this. You said to your friend, well, here's the toilets, where's the cabin?
And then there was a 3-meter snow wall separating the cabin from the toilet. You had to go over it, and the wind was just...
Yeah, so... there's so many lessons in life that can be correctly interpreted to make it so we see the truth about ultimately life is a storm. And we need direction. We need that compass. We need that, faith and protection. And then when it happens, sometimes the storm's more severe, sometimes less. There might be periods when it seems like there's no storm.
Yeah.
But the clock is ticking.
Exactly.
But we're okay, And that storm might destroy the physical body, but still we're okay. Because we're not the body. It all goes back to this foundation of truth.
Yeah.
And if you've got your life rooted in that, then you're good. You're intelligent, you're protected, you're secure, and so on.
Jan Lynn's twin sister just posted a quote on her Facebook there where it said that you don't have a soul, you are a soul. So that's exactly to the extent what you said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's funny, I was just making that point in a lecture we did for Poland.
Oh.
That's the other thing. Yeah, that's all this truth is so valuable. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Like a person that never had any mountain experience, and they just head out on a nice sunny day. Oh, let's just go up to the cabin, and they get in that kind of situation. You may be reading about them in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
Or nobody reads the paper, but reading about it on the internet, So it's like that, We have to know. I need knowledge of life, I need it. It's not like really, okay, if I have it, it's cool, but if I don't, it's all right. It's not okay. We do need that knowledge.
And it's very easy when it's sunny, when things are going well, to think that you don't need it, to think that it's all fine and this is my home and everything is fine. and then the storms come in, and you're not prepared at all.
Right. You are definitely not prepared, and then it's too late.
Yeah.
You can't go take that course, when you're on that 3-hour journey. You can't just take a break and go learn what to do.
Like in Matrix, plug in and then like learn it on in 1 minute.
Yeah, it's just, that's why we have to prepare every day, really, every day. And another point you made, which is such a good point, is you feel so small.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big attraction for a few people. Some of the mountaineers or the extreme, guys, they like that feeling when they get out there, especially if they're alone, and that they just realize how small they are and how immense, nature is. But understanding beyond that is nature is just the supreme Lord, and this material manifested, form of energy. And, we're all so small, but we feel so big. I'm so big.
Society teaches us that we should be big and we should promote ourselves and we should be proud of who we are and we should be...
Yeah.
Well, if you don't know who you are, for that sake, just a parenthesis, how are you going to be proud of who you are? Because you're proud of an illusion that is not you. So that's another...
Yeah. Proud of the illusion, it's not you. Yeah.
But yeah, but it's true, and like for me, I don't know. I guess some people, like you said, are attracted to that. Like I'm attracted to that. Coming back to that, like my roots, my feeling, like I'm part of something bigger, and I'm subordinate to that bigger, and it's okay. It's not an unpleasant feeling, but I guess some people might feel that would be very unpleasant to feel like that, and they don't want to put themselves into that position.
Yeah, there's kind of like two categories, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
People who go into nature, to do something. One is we're going to conquer this mountain. We're going to climb this, we're going to conquer it. We're going to defeat the obstacles, whatever. And the other is we're going to harmonize, and if, the mountain or whatever it is, in what setting it may be, allows us, we're going to be able to do what we plan to do. And if we're not allowed, we're not allowed. Mm-hmm. And so that's another whole concept of the two categories. We're going to conquer, we're going to, defeat, or we're going to just try to harmonize. And if we're allowed, yeah, we'll make it. And if we're not allowed, then we're not allowed. And we're okay with that. We accept that. Mm-hmm. And so the submissive category is the most beneficial.
And where most peace is to be found as well. You not in trying to strive for it, and but just placing yourself in that humble position and lower position. That's where the peace is. That's where the rest is to be found.
Yeah, and that other position is agitating to the end. Mm-hmm. Agitates the heart, agitates the mind. And, it's just like a constant irritation inside. I didn't make it. I'm going to conquer, Whether you're successful or unsuccessful is still a big agitation, Whereas the other one, like you say, is peaceful, and wow, that's what we're all looking for, And there's happiness and peace, and there's peace and happiness. Yeah. So that's what our Vedic scriptures are always trying to make us aware of, that we are just, we're not the guy. we're the servant of the guy. And, if we're allowed, certain things, thank you. And if we're not, thank you. It's much better way to see life, I'll tell you that.
Mm.
You know, respect, humility, yeah, humbleness. You know, that's the secret. But you got to do something. We've talked about this before. You have to do something. You have to live a certain lifestyle to cultivate that.
Yeah, you can't think that whatever you're going to do is going to produce that result.
Because, you know, the norm of the world today is the other category.
Yeah.
Conquer, be the best, push your agenda, make it so this is better. You know, it's just like, you know. And with that comes the anger and the frustration and agitation. And how are you going to be a nice person, just nice person, when you've got that kind of thing going on? You just aren't going to achieve that. So,
yeah. I get pulled into that as well sometimes, but then at least you know where that is coming from, because again, it's this whole thing about letting go of control is linked to anger, like you say, isn't it? We spoke about anger, but I think we released that episode as we spoke about this when we spoke about lust, that if you, on the other hand, want to control everything and control your environment to be able to enjoy it, then you're just so attached to it, and then that attachment leads to anger and lust and greed and all undesirable things
and unhappiness.
Yeah. Really.
So you wanted to make it a little shorter today.
Yeah. I guess that's it.
We can maybe chant there. There's some nice ideas there today.
Yeah. Mountain story inspirations of
the mountains, man. That's amazing stuff. We were in the mountains yesterday, and it was a beautiful day and beautiful terrain. I mean, really, it wasn't any sleet storm. Although it was supposed to rain late in the afternoon, but it didn't. But anyway, we saw these horses. There's always horses in these mountains, wild horses.
Oh.
They're not wild technically, but they are wild. They just go where they want and do what they do. They do have owners somewhere, but...
Kind of like the reindeer that I actually met during the trip as well. You know, there was a lot of reindeer where we were at in our mountain hike, actually.
Beautiful.
They came to the cabin, actually. I just had to say, in the morning, I was eating my breakfast and something like dun. You hear this dun, it thuds into the window, like doom, something. And then I look up and I see this reindeer running away. so he must have been hungry or something. Like he put his...
He was tapping the window with his nose.
Yeah, exactly. Running away, and then he looked back, and he looked at me, and then I had enough time to take the camera up and get a really nice picture. So he was, showing how beautiful he was, and then he ran away. Anyways, that was, yeah.
So the horses they were just free, and it was 4 adults and 1 little colt. This is colt season now. There's a lot of little ones. And so anyway, I was just saying to Eula, man, what a nice place to be a horse. Just cruising as a horse, in this life. And but when they get to human form is when all the agitation starts. See, that's when the angst and the expectations. Anyway, that's nothing to do with. It was just the mountains were nice, and there's always magic up there. One way or another, there's going to be some magic. Mountain magic.
Mountain magic. And now, mantra magic.
Mantra magic makes all the magic. Because the horses, you see them, but you get to chant to them. I'm sure the reindeer got a few transcendental sound vibrations coming his way.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. That's always, a big plus. Okay, Goranga Haribo. Oh, Ranga Haribo. Hey. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga, Haribo, Haribo, Goranga, Goranga, Haribo. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga, Haribo. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga, Haribo. Haribo, Goranga. Goranga Haribo, Haribo, Goranga, Goranga Haribo. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga Haribo. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga Haribo. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga Haribo. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga, Haribo. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga, Haribo. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga, Haribo. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga, Haribo. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga Haribo. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga Haribo. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga Haribo. Haribo, Haribo, Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Haribo. Goranga Haribo, Goranga Haribo, Goranga Haribo, Goranga Haribo, Goranga Haribo, Goranga Haribo, Haribo, Goranga, Goranga Haribo, Haribo, Goranga, Goranga. Haribo, Goranga, Goranga, Haribo, Goranga, Goranga, Haribo, Goranga, Goranga, Haribo, Haribo, Goranga, Goranga, Haribo. Haribo, Haribo, Goranga, Haribo,
Haribo.
Goranga, Haribo.
Goranga, Haribo. Yeah.
Go ahead.
You say what you say, and then I can say what I had to say.
Goranga, Haribo is a good way to prepare for the storm.
Okay, I'm gonna add disclaimer. I had, this is to my wife if she listens. You know, my trip mate Johan, he said that, you know, Ruben, you have to tell Lynn the tuned down version, the calm, the more mellow version of the of the hike. so I'm just gonna add that I had a tent, I had a sleeping bag, I had mattress, so you know, if it got really bad, we could set up tent there and we would be fine. So if you go into the mountains in the winter, you should have that.
Yeah, man. Be prepared.
Be prepared. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So looking forward to more adventures.
Yeah. Life is an adventure.
Life is an adventure, and it is exciting, and it doesn't have to be dry and boring just because you prepare for the future. It's not like that.
Yeah.
Get prepared, and
You know,
it's okay.
just another little point. We're going to carry this thing.
No, but just one little. Yeah.
Anyway, the idea I was saying, like, you know, all these different ways people supposedly try to predict the future.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the tarot cards, or the I Ching, or the palm reading, or astrology, or whatever. Okay, so let's say it's correct. Let's just say. I'm not saying it is, but let's just say. Okay, they predict this is going to happen. All right. You know it's coming, but what are you going to do about it? People don't do it. They just sit around in anxiety. Oh, no, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, you know. Or anticipation, this is good thing going to happen.
Yeah.
They're not doing anything to prepare for it. Like, okay, you know the storm's coming. You're in cabin number 2, headed back to cabin number 1. And you find out on your device, okay, this big storm coming. What are you going to do about it? You know, you got to do something about it. You got to prepare for it. You got to have the facility, the knowledge, et cetera, et cetera. So when it happens, okay, so now we're ready, you know? So that's another point. You got, even if you know X, Y, and Z is going to happen, do you know what to do about it? You know? Death's coming, we already know that, but nobody knows what to do about it.
Exactly.
Except just think it ain't going to happen. It is going to happen, but not yet.
Not now.
Anyway, we want to go further, so.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Chant, prepare, and be happy now and be happy later.
There you go. That's the secret. Thank you very much, Ruben.
Valkia.
Thank you, everybody who's watching. Thank you for supporting our channel. And if you like what we do, subscribe and share the links.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Valkia.
Namaste.
Okay, I hope this inspired someone to get out there, get out in nature. You'll learn a lot of lessons and you'll have an amazing time, and it'll soothe in your soul in a very, very nice way. So that's it. And if you aren't on social media, that's okay, you can always just follow our emails that we try to send out every now and then. But if you are on social media anyways, check out breakingtrail.podcast on Instagram or our Facebook page, and you'll see a lot of things popping up there. And we're gonna, like I said in the start publishing more short episodes as well. That'll be like 10-20 minute clips. We're gonna call them shorts, Breaking Trail shorts, which is a little bit longer than the YouTube shorts, so some compromise there. Anyways, so that's going to be there, and if you'd like to stay updated, check out our social media or pages, or of course email. So yeah, in 2 weeks we're going to publish a longer one. Until then, a little bit shorter ones, and really until then you'll have a lot of time to get out there, put Breaking Trail into your ears, and break trails, stay true to yourself always. Yeah, see you guys soon.